Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. This is Carmen with Elemental Designs, and today I'm going to be taking you guys on a little journey. I'm going to be sketching out a face, and I'm going to be using my Marco Raffine colored pencils as well as some markers in order to color her in and give her all the details. So pretty much I started by creating an oval, and then I just start kind of feeling my way around, if you will. I start kind of figuring out, okay, how I want the eyes to look, where do I want everything to kind of be, and I just start kind of going into it that way. Drawing faces for me is something that I really like to do. I'm a lot better at drawing faces than I am at drawing the rest of the body. For me, hands are a killer. I cannot draw hands to save my own life for the most part. So yes. So which is why you guys always see, more than anything, you always see like these portrait style kind of drawings. I think this is going to be a first part for this video, because I do think that I'm going to finish her off in a mixed media style, but that'll probably be done in another video. I'm going to fill in the rest of the background, because at the end, how she came out I really liked, and I think she's too pretty to just leave her on a white background like that, so I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. So pretty much I'm using a number 2 pencil, and I just usually I start off my sketches by just kind of drawing everything very lightly. That way I can go adjusting as I go, and I don't really leave really harsh pencil lines on the paper. What I'm using to draw on today is a Canson Mixed Media art journal book, actually, that I received from my friend Isabel. Thank you so much, Isabel. This is the second page that I've drawn on it, although the first one that I didn't really record very well, so I can't really show you guys what that is. Maybe on a share I'll show you guys what I drew on the first one. But yes, I'm having a lot of fun. I really enjoyed creating this page, you guys. And coloring fully with color pencils is not something that I normally do, so I really wanted to test it out, like test the capacity of these pencils to a fuller spectrum by really going into the whole thing with color pencils. I really wanted to see, you know, how many times I had to sharpen it, you know, how long does it last, you know, so on and so forth. Just the different kind of shades and blending and so on that I could do with these Marco Raffine pencils. Now these pencils were purchased on eBay, but they are available through a US seller on eBay, so you can go ahead and check them out. I've been using these for quite some time, and I must say that I really do love them. I kind of started her you know, her whole skin tone with the lightest of like the skin tone colors, because there's about 4 or 5 skin tone colors in this set. I bought the set of 72, and I started with the very lightest one. They're numbered. Each pencil is numbered, although they do not tell you what the colors are, but the pencils themselves are numbered, so you can kind of arrange the color families that way. So that's pretty cool, because I can always tell which is the darkest out of all of them just by looking at the number, which you guys will see me kind of do every now and then, just kind of holding the pencil to the side and just kind of looking to see. So I kind of used most of the skin tones, if not all of them. I also used the darkest brown that I had, and I also used the black to do some very light shading in different areas. And I kind of go back and forth between all of these colors to color her in. I'm trying to not put music on my videos like I used to before, because as of lately, a lot of my videos that I've had on my, you know, my channel for like over a year, I'm getting a lot of copyright notices now, which is kind of weird to me, because I got the music off of YouTube, as far as it being supposedly copyright free, you know, that you can go ahead and use it. And now I guess whoever the owner of the music is, I guess they're now, you know, claiming it, so you cannot use it. And you know, I'm gonna try to refrain from using any music at all, so you guys will probably hear me do a lot of chitter chatter throughout my videos moving forward, just so that I don't have to worry about that, because it's kind of sucks that you know, it'll be up on YouTube for over a year, and then now all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know, you have a copyright, but don't worry, the owner of the song will just get paid for your creation, which I find to be completely, like, I don't even want to say the word, but yeah. So with that now being the new thing that's happening, like literally every single day I'm waking up to like 3 or 4 videos of mine to have copywritten music on it, which again, when I obtained the music, I obtained it either from YouTube itself or from, you know, a place that says it's copyright free, that you can go ahead, common creative license or something like that is called, that you can go ahead and use it now. Yeah, it's kicking a lot of my videos back out. And so I might have to do some heavy cleaning, because I'm not going to allow you know, them to make money off of my videos at this point in time. I'm the one that worked hard at creating them. I'm the one that purchased the things that I used to make it. And I don't think it's really right that after you go ahead and create your video, a year later, 2 years later, now YouTube all of a sudden notices, like, oh yeah, by the way, that song is a oopsie. Yeah, sorry, but don't worry, just leave it there. We'll just pay them. Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen. So, for the most part, I would rather leave it for free than than do that. I don't think that's really cool. Unless it's something that I had agreed to from the beginning. I don't think it's right that like now all of a sudden this is happening. So yeah, you guys, a lot of videos are gonna be disappearing from my channel. I have over 500 videos on my channel. There's a plethora of all different kinds of things that I've done, from tutorials to just all different kinds of things. So my advice to you guys is, if there's something that you might want to see that it's, you know, kind of music, there's some kind of music in it, watch it now, because it might be gone later. And I do apologize for that, but there's nothing that I can do. I've tried to remove the songs from some of them. I've tried to mute the songs, and it refuses to mute the songs for a lot of them, and or remove the song. It doesn't want to remove the song because the other person's getting paid. So yeah, I've deleted a few of them already, so that's something that I'm gonna continue to do. But yeah, I'm just kind of filling in the space now, just with me kind of talking and maybe a little bit of ranting. I'm sorry, but it's a little frustrating. And as far as what I'm doing, it kind of speaks for itself. For the most part, I'm just, like I said, I'm using a couple different colors, and I'm just shading in very lightly, and just going over it as many times as I need to until I get the right shading. But I'm doing it really, really gently. That's why you see me kind of holding the pencil from the end and not so much from the front, because when you hold it from the end, it's a lighter hold, it's a lighter grip, so you're able to shade a little bit better. When you hold it closer to the front, then you're going to get harsher lines. You're going to be really putting down that pigment. So that's just something, you know, that I do. Like as you can see here, I'm doing in the hair, so I'm holding the pencil I'm holding it a lot closer to the front, because I really want to put those lines in and I want them to show. And then whenever I'm going into shading, then I'll, you know, move back towards the end of the pencil and then just hold it very lightly and just kind of slightly apply it. So I didn't really know what to do with her hair. So I didn't know what to do with the front of her hair with the bangs. So she ended up with like these wispy hairs that look like, I don't know, maybe she was under the sun or something for quite some time, and they got just a little curly. they wanted to curl up, but they didn't want to curl up, so there's this in between situation going on there. And then with the rest of her hair, I just kind of I thought of her as being, you know, facing, you know, a place where the wind is just hitting her in the face, and her hair is just kind of blowing everywhere, very Farrah Fawcett, if you will, if you even know who that is. Charlie's Angels type thing. Not the new Charlie's Angels, the older Charlie's Angels. So yes, so I went into her hair with the black, and I must say that I really do like how this paper, this Canson paper, even though it's a mixed media paper, I really do like how I was able to apply the pencil on there, because if you notice, there's like these little it's like little white specks in it, which give her hair a very realistic kind of look to me, and I really did like that a lot. On other papers, you'll get you know, different concentrations of the pigments. For this one, this kind of happened kind of naturally, so I was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. And yes, I will go into this with a black Sharpie kind of marker and just add some darker tones in there, make it a little bit more jet black in some places. But I was really enjoying this whole thing with the hair. Like I kind of lost my mind a little bit there and just was doing this for quite some time. This video is actually sped up about 8 times. The completed portrait took me roughly 2 hours, give or take, and that's with me taking breaks here and there and coming back to it. And pretty much the only 2 colors that I'm using here is brown and black. So I'm shading really lightly with one color, then darkening it in with the other color, and vice versa. And just kind of, you know, doing these little shapes, these little curls to her hair. Overall, I think I kind of overdid it a little bit, but I think it all still works somehow, some way, towards the end. I would have made it a little bit faster, but then I think it would have all been gone in like the blink of an eye. And I wanted you to see how I kind of, you know, went in between and just used, you know, some of the same colors back and forth, and overall, you know, just sometimes the amount of time that you have to spend on detailing certain things in order for them to come out right, or at least, you know, the way that you want them to come out. Like I noticed for me, I have I guess a face, if you will, that is like my common face. Like whenever I draw or whenever I color certain things in or paint certain things in, my faces have like a look to them, like they could all be sisters. They all somehow look very similar, and no matter what the expression is, no matter how I make them look, they all somehow look related. They all somehow look like they're related, and that's something that you'll find out, and you'll notice that the more you start drawing and the more comfortable you become, you do tend to develop like your own little trend. Like if you see like Jane Davenport, her faces tend to look very similar. If you look at, let's say, Willowing Art, her faces tend to look very similar, even though the backgrounds and everything else tend to be very different, you know, from design to design, or, you know, art journal to art journal, page and creation. They all look very different actually, but the aesthetic overall tends to be the same. For me, I noticed, especially during this, you know, drawing that I was doing here, that all my faces kind of look alike. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, you guys. But yes, it doesn't matter what hair I give them. It doesn't matter, you know, what they look like overall, like what, you know, what the hairdo is, what the background is, how big I make the lips, this, that, or the third. They all tend to look a little bit similar to one another. But that's quite alright. I'm perfectly happy with it. I think she looks super awesome. And yes. So we have a few more minutes to go before this video is done, you guys. And here again, I'm just filling it in roughly. So I just kind of shade in the whole area first, and just get that color in there, and then I start adding like darker areas as I go. That way I can kind of pick and choose where I want highlights to be and where I want it to be darker. And pretty much, you know, laying in that pencil. And I did have to sharpen it quite a few amount of times, but I was also pressing on it really harshly. But I must say that overall, for it being a kind of like a generic coloring pencil, it's one of the best coloring pencils I've used. And I say generic because it's not like a Prismacolor. It's not one of those, you know, more mainstream kind of coloring pencils. This is kind of like in the cut, you know, behind the bookshelf kind of a coloring pencil that you don't really hear about often, and it's a really great quality. It's an oil-based coloring pencil, and I've been using it for a little while now, so I must say I really do love it. And I know for a fact that as soon as I've pretty much worn these pencils out, I will be on the hunt for another set. And to be honest with you, I think I might just get another set just to have it there, because to me they're that awesome. And I really like the fact that with these pencils I can actually use them over other mediums. So like if I paint, you know, if I have acrylic on my, you know, on my board or my paper, or if I have any other mediums on my paper, they literally will write right over it. So it's really awesome for like mixed media, because we get to use like acrylics and sprays and all different kinds of things. And then sometimes some pencils don't work on that. Like I know some of the wax pencils, you really can't go into like over, you know, some of your drawings or some of your paintings with it, because the wax for some reason just doesn't work very well. That's not the case for all of them, but it is the case for some of them. But with these, I don't have that issue at all, so I really like it. So here I'm using a white gel pen to go into it, the eyes, and just add a little bit of highlights. Now, what I was originally going for, I wanted it to look like she had angels, like she was looking at an angel. So that little scribble that you see me kind of zooming in there was in the shape of an angel, with the wings and, you know, everything, like they're reaching out to something. But then I didn't really like the way that it looked overall, because I couldn't really get a really nice, you know, impression. And so then I kind of dulled it down a little bit and then just, you know, changed it up a little bit. But overall, I think her eyes came out great, I must say. And I'm somebody that I tend to draw my faces with really large eyes. And for the most part in the past, I used to draw my faces with really large eyes and really large lips, and then really small noses. Which it started looking a little odd to me. I'm like, okay, something is wrong here. My proportions are completely off. And within the past, I would say year or so, my eyes got a little bit larger and my lips got a little bit smaller, and my nose is somewhere in between. So just, you know, just play around with it and practice, and just see what your aesthetic is. See where, you know, what feels natural to you. Like, don't fight what feels natural to you, because at the end of the day, like for myself, when I started kind of really getting into drawing, like really full time, I didn't fight it. I just let it be. Like, if the eyes were huge, they were huge. If the lips were huge, they were huge. And as time went on, then I started to, you know, just naturally, mentally, as things start looking a little bit different to you, you start kind of curbing your enthusiasm. You start changing things up slightly here and there, until you start finding yourself being in a more comfortable kind of place. So I definitely encourage you to keep going, because it is well worth it. Don't give up on the practice at all. Don't give up on that practice, you guys. Keep it up. Keep it up. So here pretty much I'm laying down the black. It's like a black Sharpie kind of a marker. It's not really a Sharpie brand, but it's one of those kind of Sharpie markers. And I'm just laying it in and kind of rubbing it out. Laying it in and rubbing it out, just so that I can create like different highlights, different effects. And this is why I think that I'm just going to continue the whole portrait in a mixed media kind of style, because I really did, you know, I really did like the way that she looks, and I think that I can only do her justice by giving her a mixed media background and just finishing up the whole thing. I really did love this. Now the size of the journal for me was a little bit harder to get used to, even though I do tend to draw in like larger ones, and I do have like a really large one that is a little bit longer than this one. And that one took me a while to get used to it. I'm still trying to get used to this one, and just its size, and just, you know, how to move it around and so on and so forth. But I love it, love it, and I cannot wait to do even more work on this new art journal, because yes, you guys, is my very first mixed media art journal. Usually I make my own. You guys have seen me do it plenty times. I gesso my own sketchbook pages, or I make them out of something else. Now here's where I took a little break, you guys, and now I'm just coming back into the scene, and I'm like, okay, let me finish doing this and adding in whatever else I need to add in. I was still kind of working with the black marker on her hair, but you know, your hands do get tired after a while. And literally my husband had to tell me, okay, take a break. Like, I was just there nonstop. Like, he's like, okay, take a break, you need to take a break. So I'm like, okay, you win. Let me put this down for a minute or two. So yes, I put it down for more than a minute or two, because I took a nap. And then I came back to it right as soon as I woke up. I'm like, okay, my hands are rested now, can I go back? So yes, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you like it, and I definitely let me know what you think. Should I go mixed media on her, or should I leave her as it is? Let me know if you would like to see a part 2 to this video. And if the answer is yes, then I'll definitely get that going. If the answer is no, then I'll still do it and probably won't show you. But let me know what you guys think overall. You know, I love you guys' feedback. You know, it inspires me to keep going, to keep creating. And it definitely motivates me to come up with new ideas and just new things to kind of show you guys, and you know, all of that good stuff, you guys. So we're almost at the end of this video because she is just about done. I will try to insert a picture of what the full thing is at the end of this video so that you guys can go ahead and see it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. If you haven't subscribed, I hope that you do. Definitely stick around. You'll see a little bit of everything on my channel. And moving forward, I hope to have a lot of exciting things coming you guys' way. So thank you all and have a great day. Goodbye.